Let's go, Raiders! Finally, Raiders football is back. We get to see the beginning of the Pete Carroll era here in Las Vegas. Well, they're going to be traveling to New England, but I cannot be any more excited than I am right now. It's been a long journey to get to this point right now. All the hype between the draft, between free agency, between finding a head coach to now. We get to see the Raiders in action against the New England Patriots. That being said, Raider Nation, if this is the very first time you guys have come across the channel and you love Raiders content just like this, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos like this. That being said, welcome to the very first pre-game preview of the season. Like I said, between our Las Vegas Raiders and the New England Patriots. And I feel like right now we can be hyped up because the Raiders are 0-0. We have no losses, no wins. Everybody's starting with a clean slate. I mean, outside of the Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs, but that's besides the point. The point is, we're here for some Raiders football, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Knowing Pete Carroll, knowing this new regime with all the new pieces that we have here offensively and defensively, how can you not be excited, Raider Nation? Pete Carroll has a perfect winning record when debuting with the new team when he coaches them. So now coming over here to Las Vegas, I expect nothing but that W. At the end of the day, we just want to win, baby. I mean, that's the motto, right? Just win, baby. But the big question is, can the Raiders actually do it, though? Well, we'll have to wait and see on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
What?
Now, if you guys been following the channel for some time now, then you guys already know that we ain't starting no pregame preview without giving you guys some nation news that you can use. First thing first, Ashton Jeanty was featured on GQ, just out there stunting on a hoe, looking fly and getting ready for the season. And speaking of his debut and going into his very first game as a Las Vegas Raider, this dude dropped the bar and basically put the whole league on notice, saying, I don't really shy away from contact. And once I make my read, I get north and south quickly. If you're in the way, that's your fault. Everybody doesn't like that. I don't know why I like it. Maybe I'm a little bit psychotic. They let me know every single day that I'm the guy. They're counting on me to do some special things in this offense. And yes, we are, Ashton. We are. And he's definitely a guy that I'm looking forward to watching in this game. But I'll allude to that a little bit later. This just makes me more excited. I know I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but Raider fans, we got our running back of the future. And if he's anything like Marshawn Lynch with his time with Pete Carroll, we should be good. We should definitely be good. Now, in some other news that happened this week, of course, the biggest news was Amari Cooper retiring from the NFL just a week after he signed with the Raiders. And I know that a lot of Raider fans were going crazy. Heck, I was going crazy. I was surprised. I was like, damn, it was 1 week with this team and you was like, no, I'm good. I'd rather retire. So with that news just all over the place, you know, right before the season starts for the Raiders did make some moves since then. First, elevating wide receiver Justin Shorter to the 53-man roster. They also brought back Philip Dorsett and added him to the practice squad. So with the wide receiver room right now, it's a bit thin. I know we only had Jack Besh, Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker, and Jacoby Myers, and I think we'd be good with those guys. But adding, you know, Justin Shorter for now, I don't think it's too bad. I feel like the Raiders could still go out and possibly get another wide receiver to add to this roster, but we'll have to wait and see how this offense does look with the receivers that we do have on the roster right now. Now we finally got to hear from head coach Pete Carroll on the whole Amari Cooper thing, and this is what he had to say. The timing wasn't right for him. He didn't feel like he was ready to do it. He gave a shot and we gave him a shot. Much respect for him making that decision. Now I did have a feeling that that was what happened. And I know a lot of Raider fans are kind of attacking him and his character. And I said yesterday that I wouldn't want to even attack Amari Cooper because, you know, at the end of the day, he's human. And hey, that at least this shows that he didn't have it and he wasn't going to stay here for a payday if he didn't look like the guy that he once was. Yeah, I know that he said that he still had a little bit of juice left, but I guess his juice ran out. It is what it is. The Raiders are going to move on. Amari Cooper's going to move on. At least he got to come over here and retire Raiders. So, I mean, there's that. But much respect to Amari Cooper and his future endeavors. We'll just see how this wide receiver room looks moving forward, like I said earlier. Now, as far as some injury reports for this game, there's really no significant one for the Raiders. We're basically going into this game healthy, and mainly the Patriots as well. But one big injury news that came out yesterday was Christian Gonzalez will be missing this game due to a hamstring injury. Now, this could be significant for the Raiders offense, especially Geno Smith. I mean, heck, at this point, Geno Smith just let that thing fly. It was just let it fly. I'm pretty sure Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, or Dante Thornton is down there somewhere. But in all seriousness, though, I feel like Geno Smith should feel more comfortable in this game. We'll see how the passing attack looks, but this really sucks for the Patriots. You don't want to wish any kind of injury on anybody, and I hope that Christian Gonzalez gets better and just can get back onto the field really, really soon. I'm just happy he's not in this game, so, you know. Now, I do want to highlight some storylines going into this game. For me, first things first, Pete Carroll. We get to see the Pete Carroll era start officially tomorrow, and I'm really, really excited. We've seen the offseason full of hype. We've seen Pete Carroll come over here and change the culture. A lot of players are really looking up to him and the energy that he's bringing, not only at practice, but on the field and, you know, in the locker rooms. This dude is unmatched. That energy is unmatched. And I know that we felt the same way last year with Antonio Pierce, but the difference is Pete Carroll has experience of winning. And like I said earlier, Pete Carroll has not lost in his debut coaching for a new team since his whole career. So hopefully that trend continues and we get that W in Boston. So just seeing how he navigates his team now with a real playbook, and now we're not playing no vanilla offense. I know we didn't win no games in preseason, but that makes me feel a little bit better because I feel like all the winning is going to happen during the season because that's when it counts. So seeing Pete Carroll out there for the very first time is going to be a sight to see, and I hope that we see a great game plan from an experienced head coach like Pete Carroll. Now the next storyline is this new and improved offense. We've been seeing this first team offense look pretty good throughout preseason. Even though we only got to see a couple of drives, they look real good out there. You got a new quarterback in Geno Smith, which I feel so much comfortable in going into the season with. We got a new running back in Ashton Jeanty, who we drafted 6th overall, and we're expecting a lot of it. And we're expecting a lot out of him. We got Dante Thornton, a young receiver. We got Trey Tucker. Heck, Jacoby Myers is still here. And then you can't forget the dual tight ends and Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. I mean, we got so many weapons here offensively that I'm not worried about this offense putting up points. It's just the other side of the ball that I kind of got to worry about. That being said, though, I just can't wait to see this offense finally play a full 4 quarters of a game and see if we could come away with that W. Now, the last storyline I do want to bring up is Josh McDaniels versus the Raiders defense. Now, I stated before that the offense I'm really, really comfortable with, but the defense, we don't know what we got there yet. I know that front seven looks solid, but, you know, that secondary is a little bit sus. But Josh McDaniels, horrible head coach, right? But I believe that he's still a solid offense coordinator, especially with the weapons that they do have over there in New England with Drake May. You got Stephon Diggs over there. You got a young running back in Travion Henderson, who I'm really high on. You still got Ramondre Stevenson and a lot of other weapons there, Hunter Henry. So how will that offense fare against our defense, especially in the secondary? The big thing for the defense is seeing what kind of energy that they bring, you know, with Pete Carroll. Of course, Max Crosby is going to bring that energy, but the rest of the defense, what will they do when they match up against a solid offense like the New England Patriots? Of course, they got a lot of moving parts, just like the Raiders. So outside of the secondary, one of the biggest things that I'm going to be looking forward to in this game is definitely seeing how that run defense looks, because they struggled throughout the whole preseason. If they get going and we're not able to stop that, it's going to be a long, long day for the Raiders. Now, I do want to highlight some players to watch in this game. I'm going to give you 3 Raiders and also 3 Patriots. Now, for the Raiders, the first name gots to be Malcolm Koonce. Malcolm Koonce missed a whole year last year due to an injury. We didn't get to see him go out there and show out like he did the previous year before that. But going into this season with Patrick Graham still, with Max Crosby still on the opposite side of the ball, and some new pieces rotating at the defensive tackle position, Malcolm Koonce is going to be given a chance to go out there and show what he has. And I hope that he picks up where he left off, and we're definitely going to need his contribution opposite of Max Crosby if we want any chance of winning this game. Now, the second Raiders player that I'm looking forward to watching is Jacoby Myers. Now, we know that he recently asked for a trade, and it seems like he's not really happy with what the team is doing right now. Of course, he's going to show up. He's going to do his job, and it's great that he's still showing up. But at the end of the day, how much will the Raiders use him or utilize him? Will they use him at all? I just want to see what that stat line looks, because if we're not utilizing him that much out there and we're using all these other receivers, who knows if the Raiders need him moving forward. Of course, I would like to keep him, but, you know, the decision's not up to me. And the last player I do want to spotlight is Raiders rookie Ashton Jeanty. Now, we finally got a running back that basically tore up, you know, college football, and we only got to see a little bit of him in preseason. He showed some flashes, he trucked the dude, and just seeing the vibe that he's bringing right now to this team, there's a lot of expectations definitely on his shoulder, and I just want to see how he plays a full 4 quarters. I know that he's going to be out there bruising and cruising and just running through a lot of defenders, but how well will he match up? Will he ball out and run all over them, or will he struggle in this game? That's going to be the big thing that I'm going to be looking forward from Ashton Jeanty. Now, Now, some players on the Patriots side that I want to highlight first is Robert Spillane, former Raider. Of course, that was one guy that a lot of Raider Nation wanted to bring back, but he goes over there to New England, and we know what he can do. The other player I want to talk about is Travion Henderson. Like I said before, and I've stated over and over again, he's been a guy that I was really high on in the draft and one of my favorite running backs. And seeing what he's been doing in the preseason just shows you how much potential he has. I do have him on my fantasy, so of course I'm going to be looking out for him. I do want to get a touchdown at least, but just don't do too much. You know what I mean? And the last player on the Patriots side that we do got to look out for is Drake May, one of the standout rookie quarterbacks that looked good last year, has a lot of potential, got a lot of new weapons here. Now with Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator, who knows what kind of offense they could provide this week. Raiders definitely got to put a lot of pressure on him so he can make some mistakes at least, so we could at least come away with that W. Overall, Raider Nation, how do you guys feel about this game? Do you feel like the Raiders are going to win this game? What's your score prediction? Let me know down in the comments below. Until the next video, this your boy Simone Raider, and your boys, yeah.